To access early English books online, you will first need to log into your San Jose State Library account. After you've done that, select Articles and Databases, and then select E for Early English Books Online. You'll find it easily, and it should take you to this page. Let's do a search. First, we're going to do a search for a cultural document from Shakespeare's time. We're going to look for something from Acts and Monuments by John Fox. As you can see, it helps if you use the list of authors they already have in the database, especially since sometimes the spellings are the original early modern spellings. Once you've selected the terms, then you will see that you get a whole list of sources coming up afterward. And you can see a lot of bibliographic information about them, including when they were printed and where. We're going to look for one that was printed around the time that Shakespeare was performing his plays. So this one, even though Fox lived a little bit earlier than Shakespeare, this was still a very popular document during his time. And you can see here, this is the thumbnails that this is a very long document, 700 pages. Let's just look at the front page. Once you select it, you can then zoom in and get a good look at it. So this was a Protestant text that was basically a very anti-Catholic polemical document. And if you look at the images on the front page, they tell a little story. That would be the kind of thing that you could describe in your annotation for the primary document. As you can see, you can also download PDF or other formats, and that will be helpful because I do want you to upload an image of the primary document that you choose to select. Now we're going to look at Shakespeare. If you choose to write about one of Shakespeare's plays, once again you can select the author's name from a pre-selected list. Notice also how many hits there are for Henry. That indicates how popular it was. This time we're also going to add a date range to narrow it down and look at printed versions that came out around the time the play was performed. So in a second it will queue up. You'll notice you get a number of different hits here. Henry IV Part 1, Henry V, Henry VI Part 1. You'll also notice that those aren't the same titles that you usually see in modern editions of Shakespeare. They're a little different, and they don't always include Shakespeare's name either. Let's look at the first one. There's a couple of things you could write about if you chose this one, for example. Again, we see the thumbnails. And the front page is interesting because the title is different. The spelling is very erratic, I guess you could call it, for early modern spelling. There's no regularity to it. And printers oftentimes had to make substitutions like using the letter F instead of S. You also can see that different owners of this printed copy had written on the front page. In 1704, it looks like. And when you turn to the first page of the play, that's not the opening you get in the folio edition we have in the Norton. That's actually Act 1, Scene 2, about line 3. Little things like that would all be worth discussing in your annotation.